Several years ago, my wife and I went to a country fair in New England. It was a beautiful fall day and a delightful old-time country fair. The center of attraction was the oxen pulling contest. Several teams of oxen with heavy wooden yokes were lined up to compete. A sledge was weighted with several tons of cement blocks, each block weighing 500 pounds. The object of the contest was for the team of oxen to move the sledge a short, predetermined distance. I noticed that some of the teams were larger and stronger and better matched in size and color than were others. There were beautiful teams of Holstein, red Durham Cross, and the familiar blue Durham oxen of the seasons past. Naturally, these more handsome and well-matched teams were favored to win. If they were successful in moving the sledges the required distance, they would remain in competition. More weight was added each round until the teams were eliminated one by one. The teamster would position his animals carefully, pat them, chortle to them, whisper to them, and then at a goad and a loud command, they would slam forward against the yoke. Either the weight would move or the oxen were jerked to a halt. I was amazed and fascinated. When I inquired of one of the old New Englanders in the crowd for an explanation, I was told that some of the teams were larger and stronger and better matched for size than the other team. However, the smaller, less impressive oxen had better teamwork and coordination. They hit the yoke together. Both animals jerked forward at exactly the same time, and the united force moved the load. Some of the larger, well-matched oxen lagged a second or pushed a second too soon, something like a football player being offside, and the force was spent in a glancing blow. The yoke then was twisted, and the team jerked to one side, and the sledge hardly moved. If I were to moralize, I would begin in typical Book of Mormon language, and thus we see that size and strength are not enough. It takes teamwork as well. In religious education, we have two sides. On one side, we have the professional employed and the salaried teachers, directed by supervisors and administrators. On the other hand, we have the called, ordained, presided over priesthood officer. The Apostle Paul taught, "Be ye not unequally yoked together." The religious educator and the priesthood leader are to work side by side in the ward and in the stake. At the top, both are presided over by the First Presidency and the Quorum of the 12, which are represented by the Church Board of Education. In the church, we must have teamwork in education. Not the kind of teamwork where two teams compete in an adversary relationship, such as we see in athletics, but teamwork like oxen yoked together, side by side, pulling together. God grant that our educational forces, equally yoked together with our local priesthood leaders, will effectively teach the gospel of Jesus Christ to the great youth of the church.